All right. We have a few minutes to get started. If you can believe it, it's not quite 5:45 yet here. For this sequence, you don't have to have any props, but I would recommend some sort of block, like a foam or cork yoga block, or even a water bottle or a book, something that you can bring the floor closer to you. So have something that you can press into. It doesn't need to hold a lot of your weight, but something that you can press into to bring the ground closer to you. Because we're going to be working into one of my least favorite yoga poses, but we're going to do it in one of my favorite ways. So we're going to put in that work, even though it's not my favorite yoga pose. It's a great pose, and sometimes it's not right for your body, but it's totally fine for my body. Sometimes I'm just lazy and don't want to work my hamstrings enough to get into it. But I'll give you a minute to find your block while I get set up here. And we're going to start in about 30 seconds. So go ahead and grab what you need. All right. Getting ready here. Another few seconds. And if you haven't noticed, I am still a little congested with all the smoke. Having a few side effects. Living so close. Being in the evacuation zone for a fire has some downfalls. And smoke inhalation is one of them. So bear with me. And we'll go ahead and get started now. Hopefully you have a block or some sort of water bottle or something to help you prop up. And we're going to start on our backs. Laying down in Shavasana or whatever is comfortable for you. Lying down your back, maybe closing your eyes. Start connecting to your body, to your energetic self. Just noticing here how you're feeling without judgment. Notice if you're feeling energized or sluggish. Just notice if your mind is open to new ideas, or if you're feeling reserved and stubborn. Taking note of your mentality this morning and just acknowledging that you are feeling the way you are and not judging it. And then taking note of how your body is doing. Noticing if there are any places that feel tight or sore. Start to elongate your breath. See if a longer inhale and a release on the exhale helps you release into those tight places of your body. We're going to have some long inhales. Go ahead and open the mouth to release it all out. We're going to do that 2 more times. A nice big deep inhale. Hold it at the top for a moment. Open the mouth and let it go. Last one. Hold deep, long breath in. Open the mouth and let it go. If you'd like to find your Ujjayi breath, on your next exhale, open your mouth and like you're fogging glass in front of you, constricting the back of the throat. Exhale. This time, on your next exhale, close your mouth halfway through your breath. Inhale, open the mouth to fog the glass, and then close it. Finishing that breath, keeping the whisper in the back of the throat with the closed mouth. When we do that one more time with the mouth closed, inhaling fully. And exhale, the whisper in the back of the throat with the closed mouth. Bringing some attention to the connection of your breath and your body. As you start wiggling your fingers and your toes, just take a quick body scan to see if you are able to release any tension using the breath and the body. Roll the wrists and the ankles, maybe reach the arms up overhead for a nice long stretch. Go ahead and bend the knees and plant the soles of your feet behind your hips. Take a moment here, maybe windshield wiper your knees side to side. Loosen up your hips and your spine. And then bringing your knees into your chest and hug them in. Here, maybe rolling side to side. And then plant the sole of the left foot. You can keep that leg bent or you can straighten it out in front of you. As you keep this right thigh in towards your body, interlace your fingers behind your thigh here on your right leg and reach. Start to straighten that leg up to the sky, reaching your heel towards the sky. So you're flexing your feet back towards your face. And wake up the hamstrings here. If you have space in your body, you can start walking your hand up your leg, maybe grabbing onto the calf, maybe the foot, if you are very flexible this morning. Wherever you are, take a moment to recognize how you're feeling. Say hello to those hamstrings. One more breath here, reaching that heel to the sky. And then exhale, releasing that right foot, planting the sole of the right foot behind your hips, and bringing the left knee into your chest to interlace your fingers behind your thigh, and then work on straightening that leg up to the ceiling, reaching your heel up, flexing your toes back, engaging through the leg. Staying here, breathing, or walking your hands up your leg. Wherever you are, breathing. One more breath. And exhale. Bend that left knee and plant the sole of your left foot down. You're going to go ahead and straighten that right leg up to the sky again. And this time, crunch your shoulders up off the ground and see if you can reach your hands towards that foot, engaging the abdominals here. Bringing your belly button down towards the ground instead of puffing it out to engage the abdominals. And then keeping the shoulder blades up off the mat, planting the sole of the right foot, and then reaching that left leg straight up to the sky. Holding here, hamstring stretch and engaging the abdominals. Planting that left foot, standing up, shoulders off the ground. Straighten that right leg. You can stay here doing this, or if you'd like more, go ahead and straighten that left leg out in front of you, flexing the toes up to the sky, reaching the heel away from your body, and then go ahead and switch. Legs, reaching your shoulder blades off the mat, flexing and engaging both feet, and then switch. If you need more, you can start reaching to the outside of that right foot. Maybe bring your palms together and slice the air on the outside of that right leg, and then switch to the other side. Keeping your shoulder blades off the mat, keeping both feet engaged. Switch. Inhale and exhale to switch. Exhale, switch. Exhale, switch. A few more just like this. One more each side. And let it go. Hug your knees into your chest. Straightening that left leg out in front of you. Keeping the right knee in towards your chest. Go ahead and cross that right knee over your body, coming into a gentle spinal twist here. Keeping both shoulder blades on the mat. Maybe reaching that right arm along the ground in line with your shoulder. And you can keep your left hand on that right knee if you need a little bit of weight to help you into that twist. Maybe looking at that right hand if that's okay with your neck. Maybe looking up to the sky. Wherever you are, taking a few breaths. Finding that twist through the lower, the upper part of the spine, and into the shoulders, opening up the front side of the shoulder. One more breath here. On your next inhale, go ahead and plant your right sole of the foot on the ground. Planting the left sole of the foot on the ground. From that through center. Go ahead and bring that left knee into your chest and straighten the right leg out in front of you along the mat. Grabbing hold of your left knee with your right hand, go ahead and cross that right knee over your body to come into your spinal twist on the other side. Reaching your left arm long and line with your shoulder along the ground. Keeping both shoulder blades on the ground. It doesn't matter how far your left knee comes to the ground. Keeping those shoulders glued to the mat. Taking a few breaths. Maybe closing your eyes. Feeling this juicy twist. Inhale, bringing that left knee back up to the sky, planting both soles of the feet behind your hips, maybe wrapping your arms around your knees, and roll up through a seat to your tabletop position. You're going to come to your quadruped, hands and knees. Making sure that your shoulders are stacked above your wrists, and your hips are stacked above your knees. Pressing all of your fingertips into the mat, the tops of your feet into the mat as well. We're going to go through a few cat-cows. On your next inhale, reaching your chest through your arms. Inhaling, expanding through the belly, And exhale, open your back to the sky, squeezing your air out as you tuck your chin in. Inhale, expand the chest forward, fill up the belly. And exhale, squeeze it out, round your back. Two more like this. Inhale through the chest and the belly. And exhale, squeeze it out, open your back to the sky. Last time. Inhaling, chest forward, belly expands. Exhale, squeeze it out. Coming back through center, you want to tuck those right toes under and straighten that right leg back behind you. Stay here if you need, or if you need more, lifting that heel up to hip height, making sure that the toes are flexed and facing the ground so your hips are level. Maybe reaching your left arm out in front of you in line with your ear. Your bird dog position. Breathing here, engaging the abdominals to reach long through the fingertips and the heel. And on your next exhale, you're going to crunch, reaching your left knee to your right, or your right knee to your left elbow underneath your body. Inhale, expand long, straight arm, straight leg. Exhale, crunch your knee to elbow. Two more times like this. Inhale, expand. Exhale, crunch knee to elbow. Inhale, expand. Exhale, crunch knee to elbow. Inhale, expand, and hold here for a moment, reaching longer through the fingertips and the heel, and then exhale, let it all go. Plant your hand and your knee back on the ground, or go straight into the other side. Tucking those left toes under, straighten that left leg back behind you. Maybe lifting that foot so that your heel is level with your hip. Toes facing down on the ground so that your hips are level with one another. Maybe reaching that right arm in line with your ear up in front of you, reaching long, engaging your abdominal muscles to support yourself here. Inhale. And on your exhale, reach your elbow and knee together underneath your body. Inhale, long, expanding through those straight limbs. And then exhale, crunch knee to elbow underneath you. Inhale, long, straight arm, straight leg. Exhale, crunch. Last time. Inhale, long, straight arm, straight leg. Exhale, crunch. Knee to elbow. Inhale long and hold for a moment. Reaching through the heel, through the fingertips. And then exhale, let it go. Bringing your toes to touch. Move your knees a little bit wider than hips with distance. Go ahead and sit your butt back towards your heels. Reaching your arms forward, maybe bringing your forehead to the mat or your child's pose. Sitting here for a moment, maybe closing the eyes, tuning inward, checking in with yourself. This is a great place to be if you ever need to rest. Without my cue, I'm giving you offerings today. Do what you need and take what you came for from your practice. Go ahead and shift forward, tucking those toes under, and sifting your hips up and back to your first downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal those feet, walk your dog out, pedal the feet, maybe shift your hips side to side, pressing into your hands, pressing into your feet. Without moving your hands and your feet, can you rotate your elbow pits, the inner parts of your elbows, to the sky and reach your chest through your arms, trying to get your heart down to the mat. And then exhale, walk your hands to your feet, and walk into a forward fold. Generous bend in the knees here if you need. Shaking your head, yes and no. Releasing through the back of the neck. Maybe grab the opposite elbows. Coming into a ragdoll, using gravity to help you deeper into this fold. Waving up through those hamstrings. You can release your elbows. Bring your hands to the ground. Keeping your knees bent. And rolling up to standing, stacking one vertebrae at top of the other. And the head comes up last, floating up above the rest of your spine. Maybe bringing your shoulders up front and then up to your ears, and then rolling back and down, finding some length through your body here, reaching your hands down in your Tadasana, feet hips width distance or toes touching, whatever works for your body. Reaching your hands down to the ground, palms facing each other or towards the front of the room. Reaching your shoulders down your back, your sternum up to the sky, but engaging those low ribs and hip bones together slightly so that you're supported all through your front body. Feeling strong and stable in this mountain pose. Reaching your arms out and up over your head, keeping your torso where it is engaged in Tadasana, and just reaching your arms overhead. Reaching your upper arms towards your ears, but they never have to reach that far back. Reaching those fingertips up to the sky, and then go ahead and bend in the knees, hinge forward, folding forward, bringing your hands down to the ground. Go ahead and walk your hands forward, back to your downward facing dog. Taking a breath here. And then this time, walk your feet to your hands. See if you can take as many steps as possible, trying to reach your heel to the ground first before your toes. Getting that nice hamstring stretch as you walk your feet to your hands, taking your time. And once you come to the front of your mat, go ahead and fold forward. Working on straightening the legs here, really finding that stretch in the hamstrings, shifting forward and back on your feet from the balls to the heels, and find that sweet spot where you feel a nice stretch in the hamstrings, but you can also work on straightening the legs. I'm going to inhale for a half lift, fingertips brush the outer parts of the shins as you reach your head forward, creating a 90-degree angle at your hips. And then exhale, release, folding forward. Bending the knees slightly with a long spine. We're going to come up to standing. Arms sweep out and up overhead to come standing with arms overhead. And next exhale, bring your hands down to your sides. Back to Tadasana. On your next inhale, sweep your arms out and up overhead. And exhale, hinting at the hips, bend in the knees, folding forward. Inhale for that half lift, fingertips to the shins. And then exhale, keep a long spine to plant your hands and step back into a plank. Knees up or down, whatever works for you. We're going to shift forward, bending the elbows 90 degrees, bending the elbows back towards your hips. We'll go ahead and release all the way to the ground. Bring your fingertips in line with your nipples, pressing through the tops of the feet. And on your next inhale, reaching your chest up, peeling it off the ground. Looking in front of your mat, holding here for your low cobra. If you're feeling good here, make sure your feet are about hips width distance behind you. Tops of the feet pressing into the ground, wrapping those elbows back and in, like you're trying to put your elbows in your back pockets. Pressing into your hands, if you'd like to come up to upward facing dog, pressing into the hands and the feet so that they're the only thing that's touching the ground. Inhale here, and then shifting your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Taking a moment here to breathe. Maybe work on straightening those legs. Even more, your downward facing dog. They never have to be straight, but energetically reaching your legs back will give you that nice hamstring stretch. Looking forward at your hands, you can walk your feet back to your hip, or if you're feeling it, maybe bending your knees and jumping your feet towards your hands. Inhale for a half lift along the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reaching the arms out and up, come to standing arms overhead. And then exhale, release your hands down to your sides. Last round, inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank and flow through your version. Or if you need more, you can jump back to chaturanga. If you're jumping back, land with bent elbows. Inhale, up dog or low cobra. Whatever works for you. And then exhale, shifting up and back to downward facing dog. One nice long deep breath in. And nice long exhale out. At the bottom of that exhale, bend your knees and bring your feet to your hands. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, fold. Long the spine, come upright, arms overhead, standing tall, and exhale, hands down by your sides. Bringing your toes to touch one another, heels slightly apart. You're going to sit those hips back towards your heels, making sure the weight is in the heels of the feet. You can even bring all 10 toes up off the mat, wrapping your hips in towards each other. Maybe inhaling and reaching your arms up overhead for your chair pose. Go ahead and fold forward and release that work. Inhale for a half lift. And exhale, flow through your version of a chaturanga, upward facing dog or low cobra, and downward facing dog. So that's going to be your vinyasa. So whatever you're working with, knees up or down in your plank, low cobra or upward facing dog, wherever you are, that's going to be your vinyasa, meeting back in downward facing dog. Now, on your next inhale, bring your right knee into your chest, and then plant your foot in between your hands. Standing high on the toes of the back foot, coming to the fingertips, reaching your chest forward with a long spine here. Keeping that left hand on the ground, planting the palm of that left hand to the ground. Go ahead and reach that right arm up to the sky. Trying to keep those hips low in this twisted low lunge. One more breath in here. And then exhale, plant both hands to the ground. Bring your back knee to meet the mat. And shifting your weight back, start walking your hands towards your hips and pop up onto the heel or that front right foot. Coming into your half monkey, hamstring stretch, half split. Any amount, shifting your weight back, bringing your hands back behind your hips if you need more balance, or walking your hands forward towards your right foot if you want more fold. Wherever you are, take one more breath. And then start to walk your hands forward, shifting your hips forward, back to your lunge. Popping back up onto those toes of the left foot. Go ahead and spin your foot down to plant the heel and walk those toes in slightly. Lining up your right heel with your left arch. You're going to spin up, leading with that left arm, sweep it up and over to your warrior two position. Breathing here. Maybe looking over your right fingertips, arms in line with shoulders. Bending deeply in that front right knee, stepping the knee over the ankle. Wrapping your right butt underneath you. Finding that engagement through that right leg. Bending that right elbow, planting the elbow on the right thigh, reaching that left arm up to the sky, maybe in line with your ear for a side angle. Inhaling back through warrior two, straighten both legs. Bring your hands to your hips and turn those right toes in so that your feet are parallel with one another and parallel with the outer short edges of your mat. Standing tall here, expanding through the chest, bending the knees slightly to hinge at the hips, coming down to a forward fold, wide-legged forward fold here. Maybe bringing the hands to the ground, if that's okay with you. Reaching that chest forward with a long spine, maybe walking your hands back in line with your feet. If your head comes down to the ground immediately, maybe walking your feet in towards each other closer, shortening your stance. One more breath here. And come up to a half lift, hands underneath, shoulders planted on the ground. Bending your knees slightly. Inhale, hands to your hips, and come up to standing. Turning those right legs all the way open to the right. So now your right toes are facing out to the right. One more time in your warrior two position. And then circle your arms down to frame that right foot, pop up on that back toes, stepping back and shifting right into downward facing dog. Taking a moment to reset in your downward facing dog. And then bringing that left knee into your chest, shifting forward into plank, knee into chest, and then planting that left foot in between your palms. Letting your hips sink. You're coming up to your fingertips to reach your chest forward. Inhale, long spine here. And then plant the palm of that right foot on the ground. Reaching that left arm up to the sky for next to this low lunge. Finding a long spine here. Engagement through both legs. Letting your hips sink towards the ground. Reaching that left arm to the sky. And then go ahead and plant that left hand back on the other side of your left foot. Letting your back knee come to the ground, your back right knee. Keeping those toes tucked or top of the foot on the mat, doesn't matter. Whatever feels right for you. Start shifting your hips back, maybe walking your hands back towards your hips to get a nice hamstring stretch. And that left leg. You can take a moment to play around, shifting your hips left and right to find where that stretch is best in your body. Maybe walking your hands forward, maybe keeping them back by your hips, whatever works for you. One last breath here. And then walking your hands forward to either side of your foot. Tucking those back toes under. Planting the sole of that right foot back behind you. Making sure that your left heel is in line with your right arch. We're gonna bend deeply in that front left knee, using that right arm to bring you upright, coming up to your warrior two position, torso upright, left knee bent, right leg straight, hands float in line with your shoulders. Taking a moment here in your warrior two. Maybe shifting your torso forward, bending that left elbow and planting it on that left thigh. Reaching that right arm to the sky, or maybe reaching it in line with your ear. Reaching towards the front of the room. Keeping that engagement through the front left leg. Wrapping that left hip underneath you. One more breath here. Inhale, coming up through center, warrior two. Then straighten both legs. Turn the entire left leg in to make your feet parallel with one another. Standing up tall here, maybe interlacing your hands, fingers behind your back, and then roll those shoulders back and down, reaching the palms of your hands together and down, away from your hips, reaching your sternum to the sky, and then bending slightly in the knees to hinge forward into a fold. Keeping the palms of your hands together, maybe reaching those hands up and back. Taking a few breaths here. Wide-legged forward fold. Prasarita Padottanasana. Inhale, come up halfway, bring your hands to your hips. Bend the knees slightly to come all the way up. Through standing. Turning that entire left leg over to the left. Making sure that your left knee is pointing towards the left now. Warrior two stance, one more time. Reach your arms out to either side. And then exhale, planting both hands on either side of that left foot. Stepping back to a plank and flowing through your vinyasa. Exhaling your version of chaturanga. Inhale, back bend, upward facing dog. Then exhale, shifting up and back to downward facing dog. Holding here. I'm going to flow through that 2 times, but adding on. Bringing your right knee into your chest, shifting forward, planting that right foot on the ground, keeping that left palm on the ground, reaching that right arm up overhead through your twisted lunge. One breath here. Inhale, exhale, plant both hands, plant that back knee, shifting into your half monkey. One breath here. Inhale, and then exhale, walk your hands forward, pop up onto those Back toes, plant the sole of that left foot, setting up for warrior two. Inhaling, left arm leans, bring your torso upright. One breath here. On your exhale, bringing your right elbow to your right thigh, reaching that left arm up overhead, maybe in line with your ear for your side angle. Chest reaches up to the sky. Then inhale back through warrior two. Straighten that front right leg, keeping your feet where they are. We're going to shift the hips back to that left foot. Go ahead and pop that hip out. Reach your hands long and reach your right hand as far over to the right as you can, shifting your torso to the right as your left hip stays back. Slight bend in this front leg, and then reaching your right hand to your right leg and your left arm to the sky for your triangle pose here. Bringing more weight into the big toe side of this front left leg, making sure that you're not locking your knee. Your hand can be resting on your leg or palm face forward and floated. One more breath here. Inhale long. Exhale, hold. Inhale, bending that front right knee, coming back through. Warrior two. Straighten both legs, bring your hands to your hips. Turn that entire right leg in so that your feet are parallel with each other. I'm going to do another forward fold here. Hands on your hips, chest up, bending at the knees slightly, hinging forward. This time maybe grabbing the outer edges of your feet if that's available. And folding in here. A nice long breath in. And exhale, let it go. On your next inhale, bring your hands to your hips and slowly come all the way up, back through standing. Turn that entire right leg open to the right. Go ahead and plant both hands on the ground, framing that right foot, popping up on those back heels with the back toe. And then stepping your right foot back and shifting back into your downward facing dog. One breath here. Shifting forward, bringing your left knee into your chest, and then planting it onto the ground in between your hands. Staying up on those back right toes, planting that right palm into the ground, keeping your hips low, reaching your left arm to the sky. Your twisting lunge, one breath here. And then exhale, plant both hands. Drop that back right knee. Shifting back into your half monkey. One breath here. And walking your hands back to frame your left foot, popping back up on those right toes, planting the sole of that right foot down, setting up for warrior two. You leading with your right hand, circling it all the way up, coming upright, arms in line with shoulders. One breath here in your warrior two. Bending that left elbow, bringing the forearm to your left thigh, reaching that right arm to the sky, maybe aligned with your ear. One breath here. Inhale back up to warrior two. Straighten that front left leg, keeping a slight bend in that left knee, more weight in the big toe side of the foot as you Bring your hands to your hips and shift your hips over to the right. Pop that hip back. Maybe bring your hands back to a T in line with your shoulders. And reach your torso long and over that left leg. And then letting your left hand find any place along that left leg for your triangle pose. Right arm reaches up to the sky, stacking shoulders on top of one another, stacking arms. One more breath here. Bending that front left knee. On your next inhale, come up through warrior two. Just straighten that left leg one more time. Bringing your hands to your hips and bringing that entire left leg in so that your feet are parallel with one another. We're going to interlace the fingers behind the back if you did that on the other side. We're going to do the awkward interlace. So shift everything over one finger, pressing the palms of your hands together, reaching those fingertips down to the ground, hinging at the hips, and folding forward. Maybe bringing your arms up overhead, back behind you. One more breath here. And inhale, halfway left. And then come all the way through standing. Throw that entire left leg open to the left and plant both hands on either side of that left foot. Stepping back to a plank, your version of a vinyasa, or shifting directly back to downward facing dog. This time, just one breath per pose. Almost there. Right knee into your chest. Shifting forward, plant that foot. Left palm to the ground. Inhale, your right arm to the sky. Hold it here, nice long breath in. Exhale, plank that right palm back to the ground. Letting that left knee meet the ground. Walking your hands back. One long inhale in your half monkey. Exhale, fold. Walk your hands back up to bring that right foot. Popping up on those back left toes. Planting the sole of your back left foot. Reaching your left arm up, coming into warrior two. Inhale, warrior two. Bringing your right forearm to your right thigh. Inhaling for your version of side angle. Inhale back through warrior two. Straighten that front right leg. Pop your hips back. Reach your right hand forward. And let it find your right leg. Inhale for your triangle. On your next inhale, come back through warrior two. Straighten that right leg one more time. Turning that entire right leg into the right. Hands on your hips, chest up. Inhale and exhale, bend slightly knees to fold forward. Whatever version you like. And then inhale, long spine, come all the way back up slowly. Turning the entire right leg out to the right. Plant both hands to the mat, stepping back to downward facing dog. Last side. Shifting forward, bringing your left knee into your chest. Plant that foot in between both hands. Keeping that left toes on the ground, planting that right palm. Inhale your left arm up to the sky. And then let your left hand plant to the ground. Right knee to the ground. Coming into half monkey. Exhale, fold into your monkey. Walking your hands forward, bending that left knee, popping back up on that right toes, plant the sole of that right back foot, using your right arm, inhale for warrior two. Left forearm to left thigh for your side angle pose. Next inhale through warrior two, straighten that front left leg, shifting your hips back, reaching your left arm forward, and then reaching the ground. For your triangle, bending that left knee, inhale through warrior two, straighten that front left knee, turn the entire left leg in, reaching your chest forward, and exhaling, folding. Maybe grabbing your big toes with your first and middle fingers. Inhale, release the grip, come up halfway to all the way up, right. Trying that left leg out to the left, and then coming back through your version of a vinyasa. Holding your downward facing dog for a moment. Looking forward in between your hands, bend your knees and bring your feet to your hands. Inhaling for a half lift. And exhaling, fold. Inhaling, arms up, spine long, come up through, standing on your head. Bring your hands back through heart, center, and by your sides. If you have a block or a water bottle or whatever you're going to use, go ahead and grab that down and bring it to the front of your mat. Grab a sip of water or a sip of coffee if you'd like. Working towards our finale, leading me into Tadasana at the top of your mat. Maybe bring your hands to your hips. And without overthinking it, lift your left foot off the mat and just take a step back. Traditionally, it's about 3 feet, but everybody's going to be different here. And then bringing both hips to face center. Both feet working on facing the front of the room, hips facing the front of the room. Engaging those low ribs towards your hip bones to support your low back. And we're going to work on shifting forward to fold over that front right leg. Weight in the big toe side of the foot so you don't hyperextend that leg. Shifting forward any amount with a long spine. If you can bring your hands to the ground, awesome. If not, keep your hands on your hips. This is your pyramid pose. Wherever you are, take one more breath. And then inhale back through center. Grabbing your block or your water bottle or your book with your left hand. I like to keep it on the tallest possible side just because this pose is so difficult for me. But it might be easy for you. You never know. Go ahead and keep that right hand on your hip. Reach that left arm up overhead, holding that book or that block. And then shifting your hips back as you reach over that right leg like you just did in pyramid. But planting that block to the outside of your right foot. And then planting the palm of your hand onto that block, that hook, that watermelon. If you need to keep it on the inside of that right foot, that's totally fine too. But if you can, get up to the outer part of that right foot. Finding some length through your torso, maybe reaching your right arm up to the sky for your twisted triangle. Inhaling here, exhaling, feeling deeper. Holding here, and then coming out the same way you came in, right hand to right hip, pressing into both feet, bringing your left arm up to the sky, and then releasing your block down to the ground. Having both hands on your hips, go ahead and step that left foot to meet your right, standing in Tadasana. Maybe shaking it out, getting ready for the other side. Standing tall in Tadasana, hands on your hips. Don't think about it too much, just step that right foot back. Any mat. Traditionally, 3 feet. Both toes are working towards facing the front of the room, along with your hips. Support that low back by engaging those towards those hip bones. And keeping your hands on your hips, reaching your chest towards the sky, and then weight in the front left big toe side of the foot. Front left leg, big toe side of the foot. Hinging forward over that left leg. Hands to the ground if you can reach, or to the block if you'd like. We're just keeping your hands to your hips. Wherever you are, a few deep breaths here. It's okay to have bent knees here as opposed to hyper extending through that leg. Last inhale and exhale here. Inhale, come all the way up slowly. Grabbing hold of that block with your right hand. Keeping your left hand on your hip. Reaching that right arm up. Holding that block up. And then hinging at the hips, shifting forward. Bringing that block, if you can, to the outer edge of that left foot or the inner side. And then planting your hand on that block, that hook, whatever it is, pressing your torso long, your chest forward to the left side of the room. Pressing into the big toe side of that left foot. Maybe reaching your left arm up to the sky. Holding here, then breathing. Staying engaged. Reaching that left hip back to the top corner, the crease of the roof to the wall, back behind you. Up and back. One more inhale. And exhale. Release your hand to your hip. And then come out slowly the way you came in. Coming upright, bring that block with you. And releasing it down to the ground. Bringing both hands to your hips. Stepping up to Tadasana. Then we're just going to bend in the knees and come down into a little squat ball. Bringing your hands to the ground, you can pop up onto the ball and the toes of the feet. And then wrap your arms around your knees. Hug everything in. And then fall back on your butt. And come back onto your back. Letting your legs windshield wiper side to side. Maybe planting the soles of your feet into the ground. If you'd like to come into bridge, pressing into the soles of the feet, peeling that butt off the ground, reaching your hips up to the sky, maybe rolling those shoulder blades underneath you. See if you can interlace your hands underneath your hips, pressing up through those hips. Holding here for another breath. And exhale, release slowly your hands and then rolling down back through the spine. Letting your knees fall side to side, windshield wiper through those hips. And then bringing your knees, hug them in through your center, hug them into yourself. And then release your legs long and straight out in front of your hips. Coming back to your Shavasana, where we started. Reconnecting to yourself and feeling inward. See how you're doing. Check in with your mind. What are you thinking about? How are you feeling? And check in with your body. How's your body doing? Putting in the work of the yoga asana to feel the blissful content, the connection created between the mind and the body. Releasing tension around your eyes, releasing your tongue and the roof of your mouth. Be truthful to yourself on how you're feeling. Take a few moments more here in Shavasana. Start concentrating on the breath one more time. Nice big deep inhale. Open the mouth, let it go. Knowing and trusting yourself to know what's best for you. Become an advocate for what you need. Start wiggling the fingers and the toes. You're always welcome to stay in Shavasana longer if you have the time and the space. Or if you're ready, bending the knees, planting the soles of the feet onto the ground, maybe hugging those knees into your chest, giving yourself a nice hug. Bringing one of your arms in line with your ears up overhead. Go ahead and roll onto that side, using the arm as a pillow. And using the other arm to press yourself up to seated, eyes closed, easy seated pose, whatever that looks like for you. Eyes closed here, maybe bringing your palms together, pressing your thumbs into your heart center. Breathing in fully, and exhale, open your mouth, let it go. On this next breath, pressing your thumbs into your heart center, breathing in love for yourself. Loving yourself like you love your favorite thing in the world. And then exhale, open your mouth and share that love. From my heart space, I love and honor your heart space. Or in other words, namaste. All right. Thank you for tuning in this morning, or if you're watching the recording, whatever time it is for you. As always, this is a Tuesday ongoing live stream. If you have any suggestions or if you want to say hi, go ahead and say hi in the chat on the right. If you have suggestions for next week, themes, poses, whatever you're working on, let me know. And then I am accepting donations through Venmo at Ev Weezer. And so 60% of that goes towards local businesses and wildlife conservation, along with some disaster relief to support some families that have been displaced from wildfires and hurricanes. So I'm trying to put that forward. Namaste, it's good to see you all virtually. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week. Have a great day.